Hey, what's up guys, North47 back again for some more at Golf Club 2019, and today, as you will have seen from the title and the intro, we're going to be doing some more tips and tricks, pretty much the same as the last one that I did back in TGC2, but just pretty much updated now for TGC 2019 ever since the server-side update. So as you can see, I have picked the course at Coeur d'Alene Resort. I've changed a few things around. I was going to leave everything on default, but obviously, as you can see there in the top right, that the fairways as standard are going to be soft, green soft, and green speed medium fast. So what I've done is I've changed the fairways to be firm, greens firmness moderate, and the green speed moderate also. Just changed the time of day to noon, weather clear, and left the wind speed and direction both at default just to see what the course gives me. Going to be playing off the gold tees and on pin set 1. I believe the gold tees play roughly around about just over 6,800 yards, I think. 6,811 yards. So as the course loads up, I'll just explain pretty much what I want to do in the video. And just a little note as well that this video is not in any way for me to tell you how to play the game or how I think you should play the game. It's simply just a video on how I play the game personally myself, and if you want to take anything away from that and give it a go and see if it works for yourself, you're more than welcome to. So winds are actually very, very calm, so I'm hoping that maybe they will pick up during the round as we progress. And I can go into a little bit better detail with that, but I'll try and do as best as I can with the wind that we have now, with it being calm like this. What else I want to do is I want to play through the front 9 of the course, so the first 9 holes, going step by step through what I'm going to do for each shot as they come up, whatever situation I'm faced with. And then for the back 9, what I'll do is I'll just pretend that I'm actually just playing around just by myself and talk away. I won't actually go too much into detail, but just to let you see exactly what way I go through each shot, and like the speed, what kind of time do I take at taking each shot and start, and all that sort of thing. But you'll see as we go on anyway. So I'll take this first tee shot, which is a nice good straight tee shot. Just up the driving range just before starting, just to warm up the swing, make sure my thumb still works properly. Okay, so we're starting off in a par 5. What I did say in the previous video was, on the par 5s, weigh up your risk reward. Is it worth going for it in 2? Can you get close to the pin in 2? All that sort of thing, to try and go for the eagle, or are you better off just laying up? So here in this situation, very little risk. You've got that bunker off to the right hand side. I suppose you do have this very, very big slope here, a big red line slope, splitting the green into 2 tiers, but we're going to go for it anyway. The wind's not too bad. It's 223 yards to the pin. It's up 2 feet, so I'm going to pretend that that's 3. It's up 3 feet, so I'm going to call it that it's playing 224. So with that wind, what is using a 5 wood, sorry, not a 2 wood, the wind shouldn't affect it too much. I will add on the value of the wind, so I'm going to say that it's playing about 230. So I'm going to go for it. I can see that there is about 2 to 3 yards from the top of that red line slope up to the pin. So what I'm going to hope to do now is I'm going to hit a fast backswing, hopefully. Ball is fairly level, very, very slightly below the feet. I'm going to hit a fast backswing, and hopefully that'll give it the extra couple of yards just to get up over that red line slope. And if it runs off the back of the green, it runs off the back. It's no big deal. It is a par 5 anyway. So let's see how this one goes. Oh, fast backswing, but I pushed it and I hit a slow on the downswing. It is going to run off the back. It's just going to run out just into the light rough, but that's no problem at all. It is a par 5, as I did say. So now we've got a little chip shot in. Won't worry too much about running too far off. It is running downhill away from the pin. But what we'll do is we'll put about half loft on there. That's usually what I do for a 9 to 10 yard chip. And it should hopefully, fingers crossed, check up fairly quick for me. Come on, sit down. And there we go. Nice easy tap in birdie now ahead of us. No need to read the green there. So we'll move on to the second hole and see what we've got there and how I'd take on the approach shot. It's 479 yards. We've got the wind behind us now. Again, nice straight drive. Perfect, perfect. And a nice clear line of sight at the pin. So we've got 152 yards to the pin. It's up 1 foot, so I'm going to keep it at 152. Ball is pretty much level. If you had to say it was below the feet by anything, I'd say probably maybe an inch or two. Got that 3 mile per hour tailwind. So what is the green doing? The green is not too bad around the hole. It's running right to left and downhill towards the pin and further on past, running off the back of the green. So what I'd want to do here is I'd want to aim to hit, probably if we tilted up, aim roughly around about here, where that grid line or grid square is there in the center of the screen. Now aim to hit it there, and then it should just hop, roll out just a slight bit, maybe 2-3 yards, no more than that, hopefully. So we've got 152, as I said. I'm going to keep it at that. 9-iron is playing 148. Now the wind has died down to a 1 mile per hour. It is rotating. That's one thing to always make sure as well when you're dealing with the wind. I fall into this trap an awful lot as well. I'll say if this was a dead straight tailwind coming directly from behind me, we just say, just for sake of argument, that it was 10 mile per hour. So what I do there then is I say, okay, it's 152. I'm gonna have it playing 142 with the wind. I'll go a little bit shorter than that. I'd say play maybe, what is it? I think it's a pitching wedge. So I'd play a pitching wedge for that. But then I've gone and set up the shot. Everything looks perfect. I don't notice that the wind has changed to the angle that you'd see it at now at the top of the screen. And I'm aiming dead straight at that pin, and all of a sudden I'm wondering, oh, hold on, I hit straight. Perfect, or whatever tempo and all that, it's gone straight. It should be going straight for the pin, but yet it's gone well off to the right. Always keep that in mind as well, what the wind is doing right up until the moment that you're going to take that shot, and just adjust if you do need to. So it's only a 1 mile per hour wind. I'll just ever so slightly just put it out, just in case it decides to pull it across. I'll put a tiny little bit of loft on it, and hopefully moderate greens, this should be okay. Perfect, nice and straight. It's coming down roughly where I wanted it to, and rolling out that few yards. So that's inside 10 feet. That's going to be about 6, maybe 7 feet, no more than 8 anyway. It's only 6 feet, and I'm always happy once I get 10 feet or closer on an approach shot. That's a great approach shot in my book. So if you did see my previous video back in TGC2, this is pretty much how I read the greens. I get down into the worm cam. Now you will notice as well the difference, though I'm sure everybody knows now at this stage, the putt marker does move out as you move back and forth, but don't worry too much about that. So we can see here it's a very slight little right to left break on that grid line, and again pretty much straight, so it's not going to be too severe anyway. I know it's only a short 6-foot putt, but what I do then after lining up the grid lines, I just move forward and just trace out mentally in my head what path I think that ball is going to take. It looks to me like it's going to be a right edge putt, and as well, that's if you didn't know, as I mentioned there, the putting marker does move out. So if I've done that and then I come back, the putting marker is now at 22 feet. But if you just change to another club and back to your putter, it'll come back to where it originally was. Excuse me. When you first came onto the green. So we keep it there. It's not too bad, and then just give it a little tap and into the center of the cup. So that's how I do my putts. Hopefully there'll be some better examples, be a little bit further away from the pin as we move further through the round. So we've got a par 3 here. It's 145 down 4, so I say that's playing 144. The wind, with it being so low, being 1 mile per hour, it's not really going to affect it. But what I will do, 144, what most of your clubs tend to do in regards to loft, if we look at the loft box now, we're on a 9 iron again. What I've found from your wedges going up through to roughly around about your 5, maybe your, sorry, not your 5, your 7, maybe your 6 iron, but no more than the 6 iron. Where you see the line on the loft box now, if I push that all the way up, that's going to take off roughly in and around about 8 to 10 yards. Once you get from the 6 iron onwards, it's going to start to drop down. Obviously, the longer the club that you're going to be using. So I'll reset that. We're back to bog standard loft. So obviously, full loft is going to take off roughly about 8 to 10 yards. If I put it up to about here, that should be taken off roughly about somewhere between roughly about 4 to 5 yards anyway. So I'm going to keep it at that and hope that I get it right. Don't make a fool of myself. And the wind is turned to an easterly wind, so I'll just go a little bit to the left, and let's see if we can get this one in fairly close again. It's a good strike, very, very slight push on the ball there, but it is holding its line. A little bit too long. I could have put a tiny bit more loft on that. So it's going to be about a 10-11 foot putt, I think. Oh, inside actually, it's only 8 foot. Still a little bit of break on it. Sitting on a bit of a break there. What I also do, where the ball is sitting now, it's sitting right on a grid line. Where the base of the screen is now, if that was a grid line, and the ball was slap bang in between 2 grid lines, if it's a good bit of a break on it, I'll check that line. Otherwise, I never worry about a grid line, unless the ball is sitting on it like it is now, or just the grid lines in front of the ball between me and the hole. They're the only grid lines that I worry about, unless, as I say, there's a grid line, say maybe here now where the base of the screen is, just to get a rough idea of what kind of break exactly the ball is sitting on between the 2 grid lines, the one right behind it and the one right in front of it. So we've got a little bit of break there. Same again, it looks a little bit less and a little bit less, so it's getting calmer as it gets to it. Trace out that little line, and it should be, I pressed the wrong buttons there, but it reset anyway. It should be literally just outside the left edge. It's 8 feet down 3, so what I'll do now is I'll take off 2. I'll pretend that I'll count that as playing a 6 yard, not 6 yard, but 6 foot putt instead. That's what I'll always do as well, also for downhill putts. As you can see, like I say, it's down 3 inches. If we just say that it was down, we'll just go with an even number again. We'll say it's down 10 inches again. I won't take off the full 10. I'll take off only 9. So if we just say, for example, it was a 15 foot putt and it was down 10 inches, I take off the 9. Okay, that's playing 6 feet. I'll always just add on that extra one just for the little bit of rollout. And we should, I presume, somewhere down there throughout the round as well, we'll get an uphill putt. I'll explain how I approach the uphill putts as well. So let's see if we can drain this one in. Should turn back for me. Oh, and I put it out just I did move it a little bit extra there, actually. I put it out just a little bit too much, but not to worry. It's just a little demonstration on how I do it. Again, as I say, this is not in any way a video to tell you how to play the game or how I think you have to play the game or should play the game. It's just how I personally play the game myself, and just thought I'd share it all with yourselves. So we've got a nice 323 yard par 4. It's downhill. Starting us out on a 4 iron, but we should be okay. With a 2 wood be okay. 2 wood will be a little bit long. We will run into the rough there. So 5 wood all day. As you can see, the fairway is sloping heavily right to left. So I'll aim a little bit more over and let it catch that slope and come back around to the left. Don't need to worry about the wind. Good strike on it. And that should come down right on that slope, and it's come up a little bit short, actually 230, but it is coming back to the left anyway. Okay, so the ball is a little bit above the feet. We've only got a pitch shot here now for this one, so that's 70 yards. It's up 10 feet, so we'll add on 3 to that. So it's playing, to me it's playing 73. I could go with a pitching wedge and loft it up, but for me, if I wanted to, but for me what I'd do is I would personally play the gap wedge at 68 and it's going to hop and roll a little bit. It is running uphill toward, going towards the pin. So for me, a straight up gap wedge, no adjustment on the loft, should be perfect. For the fact that the ball is slightly above the feet, it's only ever so slightly. I'll just give it 2 little taps out to the left, just for the ball to come to the left off the club face. So let's see how this one does. Hopefully it doesn't run on too far for me. It's a good strike, slight little bit of a push on it, but it is holding its line. And again, obviously these are moderate greens with moderate green speed, so it's checking up fairly quick. That's definitely just going to be a little right edge putt. And tap it in for another birdie. If the wind doesn't pick up in any way to a decent speed, I'll describe as best I can what I do for any higher winds, say from 6 or 7 miles per hour upwards. Excuse me, I have a bit of phlegm in my throat. Okay, so another par 3, 148 yards. It's 150, playing 100, well yeah, it says 148 yards, playing 151 down 12 feet, so 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4, so we're going to take 4 off that, playing 147 to the pin. So that's just a yard shy of being bang on the yardage for a 9 iron. So 147. What I will do here, I'll just put it a little bit left just for that wind, just in case the wind does decide to take it. I'm not going to give too much left. I give it to about there, just shy. Just take a couple of yards off. Maybe just a little touch more. Wind is trying to pick up a little bit, actually. That's a good strike on it. And that should check up reasonably quick. Oh, hits the pin. Even better. So that's going to leave us about 2, at most 3 feet in for birdie again. Just 2 feet. So that's the another thing that I do as well is, I don't know if I just explained it a few minutes ago, but what I do is I'll take off those few yards. I won't play the yardage for what it is getting directly to the pin, because you're always going to be past. Sometimes that can work better for you, but otherwise what I'll do is I'll aim to land a certain distance, depending on the club that I'm using, in front of the pin to let it hop and then roll out to the pin. So if this were a longer par 3, what I could potentially end up doing is, you'd see it if you were following a ghost ball at all, is to land here on the rough, let it hop, and then run up to the pin if it were to be say a mid to a long iron. And that would work better rather than trying to put massive amounts of loft onto a certain club to get it to bounce within a couple of yards of the hole and run on. Another option that you could do is you could get it to drop to maybe, say, between where the base of the screen is now and the hole, but you'd need to be fairly precise to get it to run past on the left side and sort of turn back on that slope and come back as far as it can. But that could potentially leave you with a bit of a hefty putt, especially if it's on a moderate to soft green firmness. So what I'd rather do is I'd much rather, if it were to be the longer club, a mid to long iron, is have it hit the rough or come up just shy of the green, hop onto the green and roll up to the pin. That's personally what I'd do myself. So this one's it's not going to test my math skills too bad. It's 157 yards to the pin. It's down 64 feet, so that's going to be taken off 21. So it'll be playing roughly 136. So that is going to be a pitching wedge. Now I've got that 2 mile per hour wind. Shouldn't affect it too much, but what I will do again is I will just put that little bit of loft on just to take a couple of yards off. Again, with it coming in from a height, it's coming in pretty much vertical. It should check up reasonably quick. Good strike on it again, nice and straight. It's coming down for the pin, a little left of it, but not to worry. And checks up nice and quick. So again, that's nicely inside 10 feet. It's about 6, at most 7. 6 feet again. We'll still get down and we'll have a little look just to be sure, because the greens can trick you if you play them a little bit too fast. It doesn't matter how many times you've played a course, you can always get caught out even on the simplest of putts. And in for a birdie. I know this is a fairly short and pretty easy course, but I really do enjoy this course. Excellent job that the designer has done. I can't think of the designer's name off the top of my head now at the moment, but no, absolutely excellent job on this course. I love this course, especially that island green on number 14, I think it is. Now, so what do I do here? We've got bunkers right in range off the tee. It's downhill, and we've got trees there. We've got that little gap to get the ball through, although the ball should get up and over those trees. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some draw onto the ball to bring it around to be landing roughly around about here. So we're aimed here. I'm not going to touch the loft at all. I'm just going to... It's quite hard to see. I don't know if it'll be too hard to see for yourselves now watching the video, but just the little the draw fade line, it's very, very narrow, or very, very small on the loft box because of the size of it. But I'm just going to give that just a couple of little taps to the left. That should be more than enough draw. Perfect, perfect. And it's coming around nicely. And into the centre of the fairway. Whereas if we had kept that straight, we're getting out the bucket and spade and playing on the beach all day. So nicely into the fairway. Should have a decent length approach shot in. Just 111 up to... So we'll pretend again that it's up 3. We'll say it's playing 112. Excuse me. So now I'm pretty much slap bang in between clubs now. I've got the sand wedge playing 108, and then I've got the gap wedge playing 122. I have the option, which I will do actually here now, just to see if I am actually accurate with the loft. I'm going to put this up to full loft, but otherwise what I could do is I could play the sand wedge with a slight little touch of D-loft on it, and that should give the extra couple of yards. It'll hop, when it touches down, it'll hop that extra yard or two and be right next to the pin. But as I say, I'm going to play the gap wedge. It's 0 mile per hour wind, ball is perfectly flat and level with the feet. Green is running left to right, and it's not too much of an uphill. We're just picking up a little bit now. It's got back up to the 1 mile per hour. So let's do a full loft and just see, out of curiosity, because this is what I've pretty much been getting, is that the wedges and your irons going from your 9 iron up to, as I say, roughly around about the 7 iron. The 6 iron is where it does start to drift off, but up to about your 7 iron is where it takes off roughly 8 to 10 yards. I'd say the 7 iron is more the 8 yard mark, but the rest seem to be hovering between the 8 to 10. So let's see now if this will take off 10 yards. This could probably actually generate some backspin on me, so I'm expecting it to come back, but just out of curiosity, I'm going to pull it back a little bit as the wind is turning into a headwind. That's why you always need to be careful of that. Let's see how this goes. Put a fast backswing on it, and I did slightly push it. That's touched down at bang on 112. So with that little 1 mile per hour headwind, it just taking that little touch of loft back off it did help me. So as you can see, it does carry that, it does take off basically about that 10 yard mark. So now we've got a little bit of a longer putt just because I did push it to the right. We've got a 14 footer here. It's level though, although the beads are showing me very, very slight uphill. What is the marker? The marker there is actually saying up 1 inch. That's at 19 feet. Otherwise, that's at 19 feet, yeah, or it's starting to go up properly. Otherwise, excuse me, it is playing fairly level, apart from the break. So not too much break on it, but still, I didn't actually pay proper attention to this one. What I'll explain as well. Another thing that you can do when you're working out your break is, as you can see, we've got this grid line lined up now with the left side at the base of the screen. You can see that the right hand side now is raised up above the bottom of the screen. So what you can do there, if you imagine the bottom of your screen is the pin, and the distance going up to where that grid line meets the one that's running towards the hole, try and picture how far away from the pin you think that's going to be. So for me, looking at this now, that's going to be half a cup. So that's going to be a left edge. That's going to be a left edge, or sorry, actually it's a right to left break. That's going to be a right edge putt for me now. Now, adding on to that, it's going to come out about near enough, about the same. And about again, so that'd be about a cup outside. And then there. So that's going to come out to roughly, just reset that back, roughly around about there. I'd say, yeah, roughly around about there is what that hopefully should come out to. Let's see how that one works. This can work as well for me. I'll try and these greens aren't really too severe. Most of them aren't, so I'll try and explain the green line tap as well if I do get the opportunity. But let's see how this goes. So turning back in, it was a little bit more out, but it can. That's really not 100% guaranteed. It does work, but it's a 50-50 toss, to be perfectly honest. That one is, but the other methods that I've already previously shown, where I'll look at the grid lines just to kind of gauge the break, and then come back to the ball and trace that line out mentally in my head of what way I think the ball is going to travel on the green. That's a very, very well, what's the words I'm looking for? It's a very good technique anyway. It's the simplest way to put it, for working out your the break on your putts. So let's see if we can get this one up and over the tree. Should do no problem. Nice fast backswing, nice and straight, and perfect downswing. Now that's going to be on a little bit of a downhill by the looks of things, which it is, and the ball is slightly below the feet. So let's have a little look. It's only going to be a pitch shot again. It's 71 down 8, so we'll round that up to 9, take off 3. So playing about 68 yards. So we're going to be dropping it down to the gap wedge for sure. If it does go long, it won't go too far anyway. It can't go too far with that red line slope behind it. But what I will do now, I don't know if you can see it very good in the video, but if you look at the club head, and I'll do this for all the shots, when the ball is below the feet or above the feet, as you can see, the club head is it looks like it's going to push it off to the right, and obviously the ball is below the feet. So what I'll do now, I have a couple of methods for this. I'll try and describe the way that I do it with the wind in a couple of minutes. But what I'll do now is I'll push out a little bit. Now that club head looks to me like it's going to be pushing the ball directly towards the pin. So we're on a bit of a downhill. Said it's playing 68. I'm going to put up a little bit of loft on that, just because the fact we're on the downhill and the gap wedge is going to carry at 68 anyway. Let's see how that gets on. Perfect, nice and straight. Didn't bring it across, but it generally doesn't actually with the pitch shots. That I normally do that facing the clubs. I do put it out a little bit to the left, but for full normal shots, I'll aim the club face towards the toward what I think looks towards the pin anyway, visually. But also what I'll do is I'll do a bit of a tap. I've worked out a little bit of a tap system. It's not 100% guaranteed, but it does work reasonably well the majority of the time. So this is a little bit of a double break, pretty straight otherwise. We'll just knock this in and get this one done. There we go. And actually that was an uphill putt. I should have described what way I do the uphills. So we'll move on to the 9th. As I said, after this hole then I'll continue on as though I am just playing a normal round, not going step by step, just to speed it up a little bit, because I will apologise actually for the length that this video will go on. But if I do get a good opportunity, fast on that, but it's going a little bit left. It's not too bad though. It's only just outside that box. Yeah, as I was saying, if I do get a good opportunity on an uphill putt, I'll just break it down exactly what way I work out the uphill putts. So it's par 5. Got 249 up 3, so it's going to play about 250. 2 wood is too long. Even with putting full loft on that, it's not worth it. So we're going to be playing the 5 wood. Will the 5 wood carry me there? It's 226. This is hit and miss, but what I'm going to do actually, because the way that the green is going, I could potentially get a good uphill putt to demonstrate that. So I'll play the 5 wood and see how we get on with that. Fast backswing, nice and straight. Just safely inside that perfect downswing area. Is that going to get up on the green? It's not, unfortunately. But hopefully we can get a good example. So it's an 11-yard chip. I'm going to put it out a little bit just for the fact that it is running right to left. Now your chip shots as well, they work similarly to your putts. What I mean by that is, although you have got the tempo on your chip shots, for me, what I found, tempo is not 100% necessary. You can play it. All you really need to do is just keep in mind that if you mostly put a slow or a very slow downswing on your chip shots, and it's obviously still gonna push the ball off to the right. The same for a fast or very fast, it's gonna push the ball to the left. Excuse me. So if you majority of the time play either of those, you don't play a perfect downswing on it. Once you take that into account and you compensate for that. So if I were to be playing a fast backswing or a fast downswing, sorry, all the time, I'm obviously going to push out to the right to compensate for that, to get it to go back towards the pin. And then opposite, if I was playing majority of the time slow or very slow downswings, it's going to push it right. Not majorly right, but enough. Say roughly about from where the pin is to the grid line either side. No more than that is generally how far it'll push it out. But I'll put it out just a little bit for the green rolling, and I'll put that little bit of loft on it again. Perfect. Oh, sorry, fast backswing, perfect. And it did check up a little bit quick. I actually didn't need to put any loft on it there. This should be just a right edge, but it's saying uphill, but well, the beads are, not the bids, the beads are saying it's uphill, but it is also saying it's level. So we'll just play a little right edger and drop that one in. So we'll continue on. As I say, hopefully I get a good example of an uphill putt. Otherwise, if I don't by the 18th, I'll just describe it as best as I can. So we'll continue on as if I am playing a normal round. So good drive, nice and straight, fast backswing is what I was wanting. All right, pretty decent. Decent net approach, 136, down 3, so yeah, I was rounded up 3, so 135 with the wind. Slight little touch of loft, just out a little bit. I pushed it. I pushed it a little bit, but it is coming back because of the slope. Ball being above the feet, that should be sitting nicely next to the hole. If it doesn't want to run in, oh, almost. Played that perfectly. Don't think I need to read that one. I don't even know what score we're at actually. Yeah, 8 under, not doing too bad. Again, it is only a short course though. Alright, par 5. Put it a little bit to the left. Fast backswing, nice and straight. And in the fairway. Alright, should be able to get to this in 2, no problem. 209, up 3, 210. Alright, 4 iron should be perfect. Right around about there, should go left, a little bit of loft on it. Nice and straight, bordering on a fast downswing. Need that to get down, it's carrying a bit further. Ooh, big frame rate drop there. It's carried on a little bit too far, but not to worry. Alright, 16 feet down 2. Not too bad. Looks like it's going to play about here. Long turn. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Ooh, it was actually just on the green line. If not just on the opposite side of it. Not to worry, still a birdie. Alright, take us to 9 under. Number 12. I hate this one actually. This is a tricky pin position. So 227 down 18. So 221 is what it's playing. Gonna have to play the 4 iron. Put a fast backswing on it and hopefully it should be okay. I'm taking a risk actually putting this over the bunker. Pulled it left a little bit, but it's coming back with the 2 mph wind. It's carried the bunker. Kind of kick onto the green. Get up, get up, get up. And run up for me. I'm happy with that. It's about 11-12 feet I think. Only 10, so very good approach for me. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, it's only uphill 1 inch here, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on that one. It's nothing really significant. Come on, get at the base of the screen. Looks to be just outside that right edge. Here we go, 10 under. Alright, par 4. Ooh, what do I want to do? We're in the water all day there. I'm going to take a chance and go for this little... But actually, hold on, get me back there. That's on a 2-wood. There's the driver putting me. Potentially on the green in 1 if it carries enough. Fast back swing, a little bit of a pull to the left. It's on the green. Lengthy putt ahead though. I think I'm going to be outside the grid, alright. 39 footer, up 3 inches. Now for this sort of putt, what I won't do, I can see that there is a massive break there at the start. And then it's sort of dying down, but there is still good break there. So I can skip having a look at the grid lines here. And what I'll do is I'll just go straight into the break. Looks like it's going to be maybe out to about that second grid line. So I mean, that's what also you can do is you can play it as a green line tap, what we call a green line tap, or you can put it out to there, or maybe there, or on a severe break, third or fourth line. But for me, this looks like it's going to be about the second green line. Pretty much. So 30. Okay, it's up 3. It's up 3 inches here. I'm gonna, just for the sake of this one, I'm gonna round it up to 4. Just make it easy for myself. 39 feet, and we'll just pretend that it's up 4 instead of 3. What I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna add 4 on. So I'll bring that marker back down to 39, and we'll put it out to the green line there. I'm not going to add on 4, I'm going to add on 6, 150% the value of the uphill. So if it's up 6 inches, add on 9, if it's up 12 inches, add on 18, so on and so forth. So this is going to be, as I said, I'm going to be putting it up to 6, I'm going to pretend it's playing 4, so it's going to be playing 45. So 45, as you can see now, it's on the opposite side of the green line. I'm going to pull it back in a little bit because we're putting a little bit more power onto it. It's playing like a 45-foot putt on the green line. For this one now, I just want to kind of get the weight right because the green speed's at 144. Is it good? Tracking reasonably well, not too bad actually. I could have put a little bit more power on that. It did come up shy. A little bit more pace, it might have held the line a little bit better, but that's pretty much, that's what I do for the uphill putts. What a lot of people do as well is add on 150% the value of your uphill. So if it's only up 3 inches, generally, like I might add on the 3 or the 4, or just put it up, round it up to 4. If it's only up 2 inches or something like that, I'm not really too pushed with that. This is actually the same with downhill. If it's only 1 or 2 inches downhill, I'm not gonna mess around changing the thing there. I'm just gonna pretty much put it level with the hole, to be honest. Okay, so we'll move on. 179 down 16, so 174 roughly. That's got 7 iron written all over it. It might carry on a little bit long, but if it does, yeah, I've got that slope there. It's not going to be too long of a putt. Good strike. It's coming around with the wind. That's heading straight for the pin. Is it going to hit the pin? Go on, hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. Ah, just a little bit left. Not too bad. It's going to be about 10-12 feet. 12 footer, okay. Down 1 inch. So what's this doing? What's this doing? And there we go, okay. Looks like it's going to be about halfway out to the line. Give it enough to get there. Come on, turn for me, turn, turn. Oh, didn't turn quick enough. Didn't need to put it out as far as well. So just a par there. Normally I probably would actually, if I was playing an event actually, I'd probably take a little bit more time on that one. Probably actually would have put some loft onto that club just to keep it a little bit closer to the hole, but so I'm sort of speed playing these 9 holes now. I'm going to push that down the left side of the swing plane, but it's no problem at all. Okay, 184 down 4, so 183 is what it's playing. 6 iron is dead on for that. I'm going to play 7 iron. It is... it's not too bad. Fast backswing should be okay. Perfect. Hopefully it doesn't run on too long. Come on, sit down for me. Sit down. And that should die next to the hole. Perfect. 4, maybe 5 feet. So see, I played a club short there. It was pretty much 10 yards shy. Gave it that hop, and then would have hopped maybe about 2-3 yards, and then just rolled up the rest of the way. And again, this is on. That was a par 5. Oh, okay. Didn't realise that was a par 5. I thought it was a par 4. Again, I'll say, yeah, this is on moderate greens as well. So with firmer greens, I'll have a driver, please. Firmer greens, it would obviously run out that little bit more. Softer greens, something similar. Oh, fast downswing, something similar, but probably just a tad bit less. That's all. On slower speeds as well. We are playing on moderate speeds also. 91. We'll say it's playing 92. With the wind, that has got full on lob wedge written all over it. I'm going to give it just a slight touch of deal off, run a bit of an upslope. Maybe just another little tap. I put a fast on it again, but I did push it. So it's working out okay. Get down. I'll take that, and it spins back a little bit. So I sort of cancelled the fast downswing and the push out with the combination of the two of them. That's a bit of a horrible putt line there. Excuse me again. Alright, 17. What score are we? 14 under par. Alright, par 4. Oh, do I want to go for it in 1? Yeah, I do. I have to try and bend it around that tree though. Alright, say roughly about there should be good. I'm kind of hit and miss actually, to be honest, with draw and fade. I haven't fully worked that out because I don't actually use it that often. Push that a bit again, but it is coming around. Oh, this could be very nice if it gets up on the green. Go on. Don't be mean. On the fringe. 9-yard chip. Just put it a little bit to the left. Put a little bit of loft on it. And bang it up there. Come on, get in. Oh. Another inch to the left and that was in. And in. Make it 15 under par. Can we get 16 under on the 18th? Don't think I've actually hit a bunker shot at all. I must do another video actually for how I play bunker shots and all that sort of stuff as well, because I'm not really getting it at all in this one. I think I've hit every fairway, to be honest. Well, or have I? No, I haven't. I did go into the rough off at least one. I think. I must have a look at the stats actually at the end of it. Okay, 141 down 4, or 141, do you hear me? 149 down 1, 148, so that's pretty much bang on for the 9-iron. Put it a little bit to the right of the pin. Wind is trying to turn into a headwind. Very, very slight little touch of loft. Go on, get up there. It's holding. Yeah, man, sit down. And go on, get in. Oh, very close. Almost played to perfection though. But that's pretty much what I do now there, those 9 holes. That's the sort of pace that I generally tend to play at. But that's what I always do, as well. As you see, I was watching the wind there. I see it was trying to turn into a bit of a headwind. Although it was only a 2 mile per hour wind, it still can affect your ball. If it was a bang on headwind or bang on tailwind, and you don't realise that changes into a little side wind, that 1 mile per hour wind could make all the difference between a birdie, a par, or a bogey, as it could just draw your ball away from where you were aiming. I didn't actually get into what way I do for any stronger winds, what the other method, or how I work out for the likes of a crosswind. What I normally do is something similar to the uphill putts, as I said, around 150% the value. Just say, for example, you've got 140 yards to the pin. It's a par 3. You've got 140 yards to the pin. It's perfectly flat all the way. Even the green is perfectly flat. The whole lot. You're playing on concrete. It's that perfectly flat. And just say, for example, you have got, we'll keep it simple, 10 mile per hour, right to left wind. Perfect right to left, it's not going to move. What I'll do, this is the other reason why I'll always play a warm-up round as well before doing any event or any league or championship match or any sort of stuff like that in the game, is just to get a feel for what way the wind is going to affect the ball. Obviously, the club that you're using, it's going to affect it more. So the likes of your wedges, your short irons, wind is going to more than likely affect the ball more than what you think. Longer irons, it is going to affect it, but it should not be too much. So I'll just say we have that bang on right to left 10 mile per hour wind. It's perfectly right to left. What I'm going to do is, obviously, if it's a par 3, you're going to be aimed dead at the pin. Even if it's par 4, par 5, you're doing an approach shot, you're going to be aimed at the pin. What you can do is, for the longer irons, what I do is I tap the D-pad 10 times. So I'm tapping out to the right 10 times and moving it out. And generally, for your mid to long irons, that's how much the ball is going to drop back in. Sometimes it can be a little bit more, so I might just go out the extra couple. So say maybe 12 taps. For your long or for your shorter irons and your wedges, I'll actually go out, I'll do 150% the value. I'll at most 150% the value. But if I find that on that particular hole that going out to 15 rather than 10 wasn't affecting it as much as I thought it was going to, then I'll start to dial it back. I'll bring it back to maybe 13, 12 to 13. And if it's still not pulling it all the way back to the pin, I'll just bring it back to the 10, and I'll play around with it in the likes of the warm-up rounds and all. And even if it is the rounds and I find that the ball is not being affected by the wind, I'll adjust on the fly as I'm playing. So that's generally what I tend to do, is tap out that amount for the crosswinds when it's sort of angled. So just if you picture a clock in your head, if it's a right to left wind, but it's coming more from your say your 2 to 3, or sorry, not 2 to 3, but 1 to 2 p.m. sort of mark, so coming diagonally right to left at you, I'm only going to put it out to 10, no more than the 10. Generally that's how much it's going to pull back. It's just going to hook the ball back in. For distance wise, we'll just say again 140 yards to the pin, and you've got that 10 mile per hour tailwind. It'd be sort of in between clubs if you're playing on master clubs as well. I know I do always play on master clubs, so that's where this video is based around. Pro clubs are pretty similar. I'm not, if you do play on beginner clubs though, I actually genuinely am not 100% on what the loft and stuff is with that, or with those clubs. But what I'll do is, you've got that 10 mile per hour wind, 10 mile per hour bang on tailwinds coming directly from behind you. What I'll do, 140 yards to the pin. Straight away, I'm thinking, right, pitching wedge, 136 yards. I'll put about half to 3/4 loft on that. So that'll take it from 136 with that loft, then your carry is going to be about 128 to 130. So that 10 mile per hour wind is taking it off. If it was to be a headwind, 140, and it was a 10 mile per hour headwind, I've got the 9 iron straight in the head, because that's a 148 carry. So what I'm going to do is I have the option. I could either put a little bit of D-loft on that, or I could club it up again to the 8 iron, which is I think 157 yard carry. And I could just put a little bit of loft on that. I could put about half, ranging between half to 3/4 loft on that, and that should just kill it in the wind. Wind should hold it up. Sometimes you can find that the wind will hold it up a little bit more, so you might need to add on a little bit more. So again, similar to the crosswinds, especially with your mid to high lofted clubs, 150% the value of the wind. So if you find, again, just say for example 140 yards is a bang on 10 mile per hour headwind, and just say for example you play the 8 iron, you put a bit of loft on there, the half to 3/4 loft, but it's still coming up short. Should have put on the maybe you think I'd think to myself then, personally myself, okay, I should have played it as a 15 mile per hour wind, see what that'll do. So add on 15, so 104, 155. Just put the slightest little bit of loft onto that 8 iron to take off that couple of yards. So instead of playing 157, it's going to play 155. If it goes a little bit too long, then I know the next time if I get that sort of condition again on a similar range, just another little tap up on the loft just to take another yard or two off. And that's pretty much what I do. If I do get around to it, and if anybody does want as well, what I'll do is I can always do another video going into a bit of detail on. I'll purposely put myself into horrible positions in heavy rough, and try my best to plug it as deep as I can into any bunkers, or even just bunker shots that are a good lie as well, just show you how I do them. I didn't even really get any flop shots or anything like that, to be perfectly honest, in that. Just the odd couple of pitch shots. It is a short course anyway, so it's not even 7,000 yards. I could always do another video again on a bit of a longer course, but I'm going to wrap the video up there. As I say, this is not a video on me telling you how to play the game or what way I think you really should be playing the game. It's just how I personally play the game. And if you want to go and try out any of these methods yourself, you're more than welcome to, and do let me know in the comments or on any of the groups on Facebook or even on PSN if you're on my friends list. Let me know how you get on with them. Did they work out for you? Have you got any ways that you do yourself that would be different to mine? Let me know, and I'll give them a try and see if they work for me as well. But I will wrap the video up there. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, do leave a like, and if you're new to the channel or you haven't already, please do subscribe. And until the next one, which will be, what day is today? Today is Saturday. Tomorrow morning, hopefully I can get it done. The first round in the second event on TGC Tours. And just a quick little side note before I do wrap it up, you probably noticed that I did not upload rounds 3 and 4. Reason being, I didn't make the cut. I missed the cut. I had a horrible second round, so I missed the cut. So that's what I'm actually going to do for TGC Tours. If I'm making the cut, I'll do the third and fourth round and upload them. If I'm not going to make the cut, I'm not even going to play the third and fourth round, so I won't be uploading them. But I will leave it there. As I say, if you did enjoy the video, do drop it a like, and if you're new to the channel or you haven't already, do subscribe. And until the next one, I will talk to you then. Take care, have yourselves a good one, and bye for now.